Hello, you guys. I am going to record figuring out a lie in the Madeleine McCann case. So it's 3 questions. Number 1, the lie. Number 2, why is it being kept from us? Number 3, when and if we'll find out. So the lie that came up is the hangman. Just to scoot there real quick, the reason it's being kept from us is the Queen of Cups. What does that say? Tan. Which Kate McCann is a Pisces. So, and then also the Queen of Cups with the hangman, somebody could have a drinking problem. Whether that's a past drinking problem, a drinking problem around the time that her child went missing, or just a drinking problem in general. Okay. So the lie is the hangman. When I Googled it, it says, when this card comes out as a lie, it calls you to look at where you are or where someone else is, intentionally staying suspended and inactive to evade reality. Another site said about the hangman being the number 12, speaking of Judah. The hangman is the sacrifice card. In Italian, traditore, so the traitor, it's the traitor. Speaks of self-deception and martyrdom, a false perspective and refusal to see the truth. So, I don't know if all of those people are like the Tapas 6 and others that were involved in this, but I do feel like I don't think she was kidnapped. I think she was given, sacrificed. And I'm sure I said this in past readings about her, but the lie is the hangman. So, a pause. Either the hangman gets down and, which it's usually speaking of an execution, a hanging. I meant to look up that word. There was a certain word. Judah something. I guess it's the word that describes how the Jews hung people. It went into how the Germans hung people. It went into how the Italians hung people. So, the hangman either gets down, which he usually doesn't, and learns his lesson and goes back, or he faces death. So, what else do I have here? I want to read the hangman from this book. So I don't know if something happened and they paused. There was too much time in between to state what actually happened. Let me get one more. So the lie is the hangman. What's the hangman here? Letting go, sacrifice, pause, and new perspective. Let's see, what happened? Madeleine, what happened with the hangman? Look at that. Okay. Okay. So one or other, look at their faces. That kind of looks like him. One, a pause on making a choice, a sacrifice, a pause on reflecting, a pause on a false perspective, a pause on self-deception, a pause on refusing to see the truth. I think she did something he covered. Meaning, not she physically did something. That's not what I'm saying. I think she knew. I personally think that this was planned out and I know what I think. I just think that this was planned a long time ago with her. I don't even know if that's his kid. I think she was having a designer baby because somebody needed certain genes or cells or something from this poor child. Okay, that's what, so the lovers, a choice. So the lie is the hangman. Let's see. I guess I'll go here. Why not? Let me ask a weird question. What did this person need that I think from Madeleine, if that's correct in what I'm thinking? What did that person need? Madeleine, what did they need from you? What did they need from you? Okay. So, to get their blood flowing, to get... Interesting. Okay, I'm going there. Let me just grab a couple of stickers. The lie is the hangman. Why? I'm going to read the hangman a little bit more in depth. Why? Why the hangman, Madeleine? Madeleine. Why the hangman? The lie. Why is the lie the hangman? Look at that. So, in the back it says apothecary potion. Keep somebody stuck in a web. Drought of the living death. A powerful drinker may appear dead. So they did give the kids something, not just to go to the restaurant. They knew this was happening. I'm sorry, I don't... Look at this. The heart. So they needed a couple of parts. The heart, the skull. What's the spider? Growth, mastery, and creativity. And then this is my black magic. So knowledge. This is all planned. Okay. The lies, the hangman. I don't know what the pause would have been. Did they give her something and not just the regular medicine to knock the kids out, but something, what is that muscle relaxer thing? I don't know, but I've heard of it, that they give. And then covered it up. Okay, that's the lie. Should I read a little bit of the hangman from here? See if we can get anything. Alright. In a different tarot deck, the hangman is not hanging, but is inverted, suspended, floating in midair. And he is definitely not dancing. His suspended state represents life on hold, a period of waiting. It also represents seeing the world and or a situation from a different angle. The man has lost his position. His face says he did so willingly to further his goal. His peaceful countenance expresses his free will. Both in this modern card and the traditional card, it is clear from the hangman's facial expression that he is not suffering, rather he is in the hands of fate. Let's see. Ooh, interesting. The hangman is suspended from a dual heart. Now this is in the regular book. Let me grab it, actually. From a different deck I'm reading from. Let's see if it's in here. There it is. Okay. Because that heart did come out. Alright, let's see. The hangman's body is divided into several colors, each corresponding to the area of the body governed by a different set of nerves, emanating from different areas of the spine, cervical, thoracic, and lumbar. Even while inverted, this image stresses that he is functioning normally, his nerves allowing him to respond to the outside world. While he may appear to be helpless in his inverted state, he is nevertheless ready, willing, and able to contribute to the traveler's journey. The hangman is suspended from a dual heart. It is appropriate that the heart is at the top of the card while the head is near the bottom. The heart is the locus of physical and spiritual being. Here is emphasized the heart wisdom of feeling, while the head wisdom of reason is diminished. The hangman's feet are rooted in a gigantic heart, the heart of civilization and the collective unconscious, like a person standing in the mundane world, receives energy from the earth underfoot, providing everything from food to gravity. Our inverted man receives his energy from the great heart, and at the top of the card is the great heart of heaven and the gods. The nimbus around the hangman's head is bursting with vital golden rays. The energy normally flowing from his head to his body and his feet is now flowing because of his inversion into his head, where it accumulates to the verge of explosion. The halo around his head indicates holiness and spiritual attainment. It is also a reference to the sun, symbolizing enlightenment. Because all this is internal, his pose is appropriately quiescent and passive. The lie. In parallel to the four struggling men to his right, to the left of the hangman is a tree with 4 bats. These bats do not struggle against their inversion as do the men on the right tree. For them, inversion is normal. And since bats are considered creatures of the night, do I have bats on here? No. They are symbols of the unconscious. The message here is that in nature, every creature needs some time of inversion to reorder the flow of internal energy. This is normality. Behind the hangman are figures angrily struggling through the weeds. One is clothed, one is unclothed. Neither is willing to take the passive pose of the hangman, to become quiet, to shed their overactive egos, to stop and become vulnerable through physical and psychological inversion. Their unwillingness in these areas causes nature in the form of the weeds to hinder their progress. At the bottom of the card is a swamp. Not only do nasty creatures like snakes and toads reside there, but also the struggling, suffering souls of the dead who emerge attempting to reach the hangman. Fortunately for both him and for us, he is out of reach of these negative forces that want to literally bring him down. Why does this shake it? It is his connection to the great heart that keeps him safe. The hangman tells the traveler that as important as moving down the road to psychic wholeness is, equally important are moments of rest. These provide an opportunity to reconsider one's circumstances, to view oneself from a different position. Often what is most beneficial is a positional stance, as far removed from normal as possible to total inversion. This gives psychic energies an opportunity to find new flow patterns, new streams, new causeways. Upon ending this period of inversion, the traveler will find new sources of energy to help move down the path of the great work, the magnum opus. Okay. I guess I'll get one of these. Madeleine, why the hangman? What's the lie? So the lie is in my head, she knew this was happening. She probably didn't know when it was happening. So kind of like a setup. Let me give a for instance. Let's say Billy and Barbara, okay? So Barbara's like, hey, why don't you steal my car so I can do an insurance claim? But don't let me know when you're doing it. That way I can fiend some kind of surprise at it happening. So I feel like she knew it was going to happen. She just didn't know when it was going to happen. And I think the hangman being the lie is she could have gotten down and walked the other way. But instead, she chose to make her a sacrifice. All right, let's see. Now, that's kind of interesting. The hangman's hanging, and these two are sitting. It's probably all the other people that it's been done to, done with, done for. Madeleine, what's the lie with the hangman? Okay, that fell out. I've got hospital and criminal. Yeah. Just, okay, let me read it real quick. I'm thinking right now. So death and then temperance, which would kind of be health. Hospital. All right. Surgery, waiting room, coma, deathbed, superbug, cancer, insurance, emergency room, operation theater, transplant, rehabilitation, nurses, triage, mass casualty event, x-rays. And then a criminal. So a criminal took her and brought her to a hospital, kind of like a garage auto repair shop. Criminal, rap sheet, repeat offender, convict, on the run, hitman, white collar crime, trial, rape, prison, killer, organized crime, criminal defense attorney, wanted poster, plea bargain. Okay. Did I get stickers? I did. All right, let's see. Now, why was the lie being kept from us? To protect her, I believe. protect her from what? Let's see. Protect her from what? Protect her from what? Strength? No, yeah. Justice. From getting divorced or arrested? Strength. I mean justice. The switcheroo. Interesting. What are we protecting her from? Oh, because you didn't want to stay and raise those kids while she's in jail. Justice. Justice, fairness, responsibility, decisiveness, protect her from taking responsibility, understanding cause and effect, and accountability. Do what needs to be done in a fair and decent way. This will triumph over bigotry and prejudice. Your good efforts will bring rewards. Now, they are going to reap so much karma, these two. Okay. Not speaking. And I do notice that brain in her mouth. Okay, let's see. Give me one. Why is the lie being kept from us? To protect her. Going to jail. So he doesn't have to take responsibility to raise the kids. And they can just keep raising money every time they put out a new fake news clip. Protect her from what? Protect her from what? It's 2. I'm not going to take it. Protect her from what? Protect her from what? Protect her from what? Treasure. And defeat supernatural evil. Let me get stickers before I read these. Protecting her. Protect her from what? Ooh. One more. Protect her from what? One more. What are we protecting her from? Okay. Interesting. Pissing on our leg and telling us it's raining. Offspring. No, that's the band. I thought it meant children. August 5th, an amusement park. A ticket. That might be a ticket stub that documents something and something about the arm. Nerves, tendons. This came out for Rex, the Long Island serial killer. Banksy. Art. Okay. Demonic forces, exorcism, haunted house, poltergeist, heroic battle, magic sword, voodoo, holy water zombie, army of the dead, Dracula, black magic, ghoul, dragon. And treasure, bank account, priceless art. Interesting. Protect her. So they... Oh, there's another sticker over here. X marks a spark, collection, archaeology, gold coins, pirate, Nazi gold, heirloom, diamond, gold reserves, crown jewels, loot, bribe, sunken ship, vault. Getting paid in art. Oh, Jeepers Creepers. Dennis? Somebody following them? Somebody following them? Okay, I can't do this right now. Alright, lastly. When and if we'd find out. Indecision is causing delays. Now this could have been at the time that it was happening. There was indecision. And then came out to clarify. So something could be coming out in 2 months. Notice how they both have masks on, and that's why I thought it was interesting that the lovers came out, meaning they're both in on this. As much as I thought it was one or the other, they are both in on this. There's some sick individuals. Okay. What, if anything, let me get one card from here. What, if anything, will we find out? Idealistic organization, revolutionary tax deduction. Yeah, they're making lots of donation money for this poor child. Church, nonprofit, volunteer, corrupt, demonstrate, peace, donations, Salvation Army, money, embezzlement, charity gala, free speech, advocacy, and grant. I think hopefully the gig's up in 2 months. When and if we'll find out. Give us some stickers for this. 2 months time. Ooh, I didn't mean to drop all those. Oop, oop. Oop, one dropped on the floor. Ow. Wow. Okay, that eye thing that Madeleine had, I don't know if that's some kind of like scientific thing that they wanted to study, but maybe it was purposeful. Like, say they inserted some kind of, what am I thinking? Some kind of whatever into her mother. Just have her born a certain way to produce certain things that they need. Son. And there was that that story where they were at the beach and the boat turned over or something. Okay, 2 months. What will be coming out, hopefully? 2 months. Look at that. Happy Mother's Day. And now this reminds me of that little stuffed animal that she was toting around. Alright, I'm going to leave that there. Thank you.